Hi, welcome to my nail channel. I never know how to start these videos, seeing as I've always had an introduction. But anyway, so you may or may not know, I am a new-ishly licensed nail tech. I've been an at-home DIYer for years and years now, and I kind of wanted to get some education behind me if I was going to sit here and talk about how to do nails. So I was trained by the Gel Bottle and hope to further my education with them in the future and different places as well. And since then, a lot of people have been asking me for some beginners tips, some do's and don'ts, and one of the main reasons I wanted to kind of get this education behind me is because of there are a lot of don'ts when it comes to doing your nails. The more I did my research, the more I, was opened up to a world of allergies, ways you can wreck your nails. So today I'm going to share some tips and some products I absolutely love. Just a disclaimer, I am affiliated with JELLO. After putting myself forward for their Muse program, I was selected, but my collection, which you'll see now, none of this is gifted. This was all paid for the years that I've been shopping at JELLO. It's the only place I go to, and I will explain a little bit more why. But you can use my code James10 if you want to get some discount, and I think I get like commission if you use my code. I think that's how it works. I think so. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay, so starting off with the first tip, and one that I stress constantly all the time. No matter what you do not let the gel touch your skin. If it does, quickly wipe it away with an old brush and some acetone. Just get rid of it. Get it gone. The aim is to not get any gel on your skin at all. And I see a lot of, these TikTok videos and TikTok hacks where they're like kind of purposely getting gel on the skin or getting gel on the skin as part of the process and then cleaning up. The less cleanup, the better. Anyone can become allergic to gel polish if it has constant contact with your skin, if you overexpose your skin to it. And this is because of the acrylates that you find in gel polish. I have a whole video about this, you can go and watch that. And also an ingredient called HEMA, which I have to read this, is hydroxyethyl methacrylate. I don't know why I struggle with that so much. But they're monomers, so they're monomers in your polish. And there are other known irritants as well, and this is why I personally shop for these like 12 free polishes, gel polishes that are free of a lot of known allergens. That doesn't make them completely, you're never gonna get an allergy if you use them, but it does lower your chances. And that's one reason why I shop in JELLO, but not the main. We'll talk about that in a bit. So one of the key things to not getting gel on your skin is using good gel polishes. Now, for me, Tiny, which we'll be talking about more, and Korean gels in general are so easy to use because one, they're nice and thick. There are some professional gel brands that are so thin, you have to use like multiple layers. And I found as a beginner, I found it hard to hit the same shape every time I went over in a new layer. So it often end up looking patchy. Whereas with gel, the vast majority of gel polishes, I would say like 99.9% of gel polishes from Korea, from Korean brands, I find that they have a viscosity that the color is thick enough and even without being too thick that you undercure them or you don't cure them enough. But also because of that slightly thicker than, not crazy thick, but slightly thicker than normal viscosity, you have more control and more playing time with it. So there are less chances that color is gonna run into your nail beds. It's not gonna run all down the sidewalls and touch your skin. You're gonna have less cleanup work to do. And you often find that a lot of them are like a one coat and done kind of situation, which is really, really good when you're trying to practice just kind of polishing the shape of a nail. I know it sounds really basic, but it's hard first of all. And particularly with Tiny, I find these huge kind of like brush tops really, really, really good at like controlling the product and exactly where I'm placing it. And that control is so important when you're beginning. So I guess my second tip leading on from that is don't try to get a perfect nail shape the first time you polish. And by that I mean, don't worry about trying to get as close as you can to the sidewalls. Don't worry about going as close as you can into the nail bed, into the cuticle area. But you can leave gaps whilst you're practicing. If you're doing it on yourself, just leave a gap. It doesn't matter. Leave a gap up here, leave gaps down the side until you are really confident in that control. All the tips and tricks to get into those areas. You will get gel everywhere, it gets messy, and this is what really led for me to my nails lifting because of an allergy I had when I first started out, because I was, well, amongst numerous things I'll discuss. But because I was trying to get the shape so perfect to begin with, and you do not have to. Listen, if you practice, like every night, you will get that shape. You will be able to do that shape so easily. And by practicing every night, I don't mean practicing on your bare nails. I mean practicing on tips, full coverage tips. You can buy some cheap ones online, and all I used to like to do is kind of set out a mark in my head. So towards the base of the tip, I would try and get the gel just as close as I can, but not fully over. So I'd always aim to leave the same size gap, like a constant size gap around the edge, and it just helped me practice control. And that way I was able to get close to my skin without touching it. Other things you can do is use a thin brush to paint around by those sidewalls and by your cuticle without flooding. And also the best way to get your nail bed is to start with the brush kind of here, like just below the middle of your nail, and push the product back and swipe up rather than starting right down the bottom. So yes, Tiny in particular, Fiote, all amazing. I would say really beginner friendly brands. DGEL, all amazing. Dehydrator and primer. Base coats and top coats are really obviously very, very important. Go slow with a base coat and go thin with a base coat as well. So one thing I really struggled with was finding a non-watery base coat because I'd want a really nice thin layer. So I'd be putting on my nails and it would just be spreading everywhere. I really struggled to have a tidy base coat that wasn't too thin, wasn't too thick, and was easy to control as well. As well with top coats, I got some top coats that were like, just rubbish. They would yellow really easily. And there's nothing more annoying than being a beginner or doing your nails at home. You're really happy with your design and what you've just done. You know, you come a long way, you put your top coat on, 2 hours later it looks yellow and the shine is completely gone. Like why? Like it's really disheartening. And then you want to take it off. You make that mistake of wanting to do your nails like every day when you're first starting out. So you want to take it off again and start again to get that shine back. Two of my favorite products, which I've talked about a few times I think, are the DGEL Winnie the Pooh Honey Top and Honey Base. The base is a little bit thicker than water kind of texture, so you have again real control of it, but you can kind of like completely scrape this on the sides of the lid to get off so much product, and it looks like there's no product on your brush, but then you use it and there's just enough to cover your nail and create that really nice thin base that self-settles so you have no lumps and bumps. And then the top is the same, just a lot thicker, but again, easy to control. It's not gonna leak everywhere. It gives a really nice smooth, again, self-settling top that just gives you this really nice smooth, shiny looking finish that doesn't yellow and doesn't get dull and disgusting. I don't think these are limited edition because I've been buying these for like 2 years. I don't think they are, but these by far, I wish I had these when I started out because they're just so much easier to use. Another tip really, no matter what kind of product you're using, it is really about how you control everything. And my tip is to go really slow. Just go slow. Honestly, when you're doing your nails, take a whole day off. Make a day of it, because I do. It takes me probably now about 5 hours to do my own nails, including painting with my least dominant hand, and you just have to go slow. Take your time, there's no rush. You're not doing it on an actual client, so you don't need to be like, you know, have everything done within an hour. Really take your time, especially with when you're painting your dominant hand. A question I get asked a lot is how do you do it? So I have a few tips. It's not easy. I don't think it will ever be easy until you keep doing it and keep doing it. I don't stress about doing it anymore because I've got to a place where I can just kind of get on with it. Still takes me longer, but the main tips that really got me through it again was one, go so slow, really go slow, take your time, treat each curve and brush as its own. Do you know what I mean? Like take a good 30 seconds to a minute to do it, but also move your hand. So for example, say this is a brush, right? And I'm painting it. Instead of trying to brush all around my nail like this, I will move my thumb into the position and move my nail around the brush. Not all the time, but in those hard to get places, like when I'm working near the cuticle, near the sidewalls, I will definitely kind of like move my thumb or finger, whatever finger I'm working on, more than the brush itself. That's because I don't have control with my left hand. When I think I'm going left, I'm going right, or I do like a right angle instead of a smooth line. Go slow, make a day of it. But on that note, I have another product recommendation for you, because when you first start out, you're gonna mess up loads. Sometimes you're gonna have like a really nice set of nails and you're gonna think, you know what, I don't quite like that. I think I could do that better. Or you're just so excited about the new products you bought and you want to try them again. A peel off base I would use all the time whilst you're practicing. The JELLO Peel Off Base Gel I've talked about to death, and it's iconic, a bestseller, always out of stock because people love it. Nail content creators use it so they can constantly create content without having to wait 3 to 4 weeks and then soak off their nails or drill off their nails or whatever. You put this on like a normal gel base, cure it for 60 seconds, but it comes off with their 1 kill oil, which you can see gets a lot of use. Then you just get like an orange wood stick and peel it off. It's so easy to use. It's so handy when you're starting out. You just want to keep creating and creating and creating, or practice as well. It's really, really helpful. One big mistake that I made was, before I discovered even a peel off base, was constantly removing my nails because I wanted to do more. I used to file down my nails, then use one of those like exploding gel products. So you'd wipe it, then all the gel would pop off. Completely destroy my nails. It would make my nails soft. So when I was scraping off, I was scraping up my nails too. I started using an e-file without even knowing what I was doing, completely destroying my nails. I nearly had a sponsorship in the early days with this brand, but because of how bad I'd been mistreating my nails, I had to send a picture to my manager of my nails lifting because I was treating them so bad. I was getting gel on my fingers, they were bleeding, and I was like Googling, is bleeding from your nails normal? Obviously it's not normal. There was something wrong with me. I was so new to it, but that's what happens when you go in and you don't do research. And so until you know what you're doing with an e-file, until you know you're going to be happy with your set for at least 3 weeks, get yourself a peel off base. Use a peel off base. You would love it anyway. And with really, really good nail prep, a full set has lasted me 2 to 3 weeks with a peel off base, only with this one in particular. So yeah, a kind of tip and product recommendation, get yourself a peel off base because when you begin, you're gonna want to keep changing your design. Also, get yourself a good nail lamp. It's kind of the general consensus that you should buy whatever lamp the brand that you're buying sells. However, I have noticed personally that what a lot of brands will do is buy the same lamp and brand it with their own logo. This is my personal favorite. This is the LEAFGEL premium lamp that I use all the time. It's a little bit grubby because it gets so much use, but this, I just know I can trust this one. I'm gonna link a video below about lamps because I'm still not fully, you know, I haven't got all the numbers confuse me, numbers and maths confuse me. So I'll link a really good video down below about, you know, really what the key aspects of a lamp is that you need, you know, as far as like power and wattage and how often you should change them out and stuff. But get yourself a good lamp and never leave under-cured products on your fingers. When you're starting out, even when products say that they cure in 30 seconds, I will always do 60 seconds just to be sure. Am I overcompensating? Probably, but I've had reactions before and I never want to risk it again. I want to talk about specific products now, and when it comes to trends as well. Let's start off with airbrushes. Now, airbrushes, basically you kind of water down a gel with like an alcohol or a paint thinner, then you spray that to get this airbrush effect on your nails. The issue with this is you are spraying those acrylates on your skin, which you don't want to do. I am experimenting with body paint and tattooing ink and stuff like that in airbrushes, which will be safer for your skin because of the size of the molecules and stuff. But a really good alternative to get the trending ombres, airbrush designs is to get yourself some sponges. These are my favorite ones. These are the MILKPONGE sponges from MITHMILLO, I believe. And then you get yourself the little sponge picker as well. And these help create that kind of like seamless like ombre effect and airbrush effect without having to actually spray product all over your fingers, all over your skin. So Gel X, right, is the brand name of Apres Gel Full Coverage Tips, and it's like a gel extension system. What I would say is I don't believe that it's for beginners, and here's why. One, you can get certified in doing Gel X Full Coverage Tips. Anyone can buy them, but there is a certification program, which makes me think there is a certain technique and education that you need to be able to use them properly. Two, if you are a beginner, I feel like you're gonna overuse gel with this product. So with Gel X, the brand, the apex on the nail is really big. They're really structured and you have a really big curve, which often means, in my personal experience, you usually overuse product to try and fill that huge apex with, and what you find is that usually spurts out, it leaks out the sides, it leaks out underneath, it goes under your nail, all around the sides, you end up wiping it all off, and again, in my personal opinion, wiping away product with alcohol isn't a step we should always be doing. Do you know what I mean? I feel like our aim is to not have to do that. What I find with Korean gel tips in general, some of my favorite are from the Nail and Diami, I gotta say that wrong, is that they have a much more natural looking structure to them, a much more natural looking apex, and they're super beginner friendly. One of them's pre-etched, one of them is just nice and thin at the base, so you don't end up using too much product, you don't end up having to correct them all the time, you don't end up having to tidy up so much gel. And we are seeing a lot of people on TikTok getting allergies from this trend because they're undercuring the product that's underneath it, because they are having to use a lot, and because of that spillage as well. So for me, if you want to start doing your own gel extensions, I have that video on the overlay method when it comes to full coverage tips that I think would really help you when you're starting out. So I would go for a really nice natural built nail extension if that's what you're going to do. What other mistakes did I make? I made a lot. Yes, e-file. Don't go on YouTube and look at e-file manicure and think you can do it, because you can't. Magnet gels, product recommendation again. Cat eye polish, magnet gels, whatever they're called, are the easiest way to paint your nails and make it look like you spent ages on them. Just because I know they're kind of like a little bit overdone now, but when you're just starting and you want to practice, you know, getting the basic shape of a nail, how many layers of something you need. Magnet gels are amazing at making you feel fulfilled after, because it looks like you've done a lot when really you've not done that much. But of course, these are gels with kind of like magnet glitter and pigments in them, not pigments, glitter and bits in, that when you put a magnet up against them, they shift and move and you can create all these amazing designs with. My favorite ones are from First Street and from the Nail. I have a whole collection which I hope to swatch soon, which actually they're my favorite over these ones. But they just look incredible, and you always will get comments on them and people be like, I don't understand. You're like, it's magnets, and it's great. Another tip, removal is probably the most important step to spend time on. As I mentioned really briefly earlier, I destroyed my nails removing my polish incorrectly. Again, using all these exploding gel products, using an e-file without really knowing what the file bits meant, and sanding down my natural nails basically. What I love about most Korean gel polishes is that they are soft gels, meaning they soak off. Hard gel means that you have to file them off, to put a long story short. When done correctly, your nails will be absolutely fine. Speaking about Korean gel polishes in general, obviously coming from my skincare channel, I love K-beauty. My first, of course, natural thing I did was looked at Korean gel polishes when I got into gel polish all those years ago. And as I mentioned, they are just the most beginner friendly. Are they a little bit pricier than others? Yes, but in all honesty, I do think you pay for quality. They're super beginner friendly. You know, before I discovered Korean gel nails, I bought ones from just here in the UK. I bought polishes off Amazon. I bought them off, like cheapy places. The quality was terrible. It just meant I had to play around with them more. And I really did myself some damage because I wasn't investing in good products. Polish isn't the area where I would scrimp on money, unless you're doing like nail varnish, absolutely fine. But there has been a connection with these cheap polishes from places like Temu and allergic reactions. You know, it's not like skincare when you can go down to Boots and buy a product for like £3 and it's perfectly good, formulated to go on your skin. These are products that are meant to only go on your nails. And if they do have a lot of these known allergens in, for example, and the quality isn't there and they're liquidy and they're terrible, you're gonna get it all over your skin and you're gonna come up with a load of problems, a load of issues. So invest in good quality gel products. Again, my personal recommendation, Zillabue Korean gel nails. Tiny's a really good, hang on, Tiny's a good brand. Bessie is a really good brand as well for like color gels. Fiote, MITHMILLO, DGEL, all really good, amazing, beginner friendly brands. You can buy some really nice staple colors. And finally, and again, I need to reiterate, do not get gel on your skin. That's it. Wear gloves. If you're painting with this hand, wear gloves on this hand. Have alcohol at the ready. Keep yourself clean. Have fun with it. All products will be linked in the description box down below. Any more questions, leave them in the comments and I'll answer to the best of my ability, and I'll see you next time.